Stormtroopers are the feared foot soldiers of the Galactic Empire who can't hit anything. Redshirts are the security and engineering personnel of Starfleet who always die on away missions. In today's episode of Versus, they will be pitted against one another in a single epic battle along with a squad battle. Before I begin my matchup, I would like to establish a few rules for the squad-based portion of it. In the squad-based portion, I will have 5 Stormtroopers fight against 5 Redshirts, and they will be the standard versions of each. Also, feel free to vote in the poll on screen now on who you would think will win in each scenario. I will be breaking them down into 3 categories: weapons, training, and armor. Now, it does not matter how many categories the Stormtrooper or the Redshirt wins, as I'm looking at who is better overall, though the categories help in visualizing it. Now, for my information, I'm using what is presented in Star Trek, the original series, along with a tiny bit from the animated series, just one little thing there. And then I'm also using the Star Wars canon as sources for information. So I just want you to put that. And video games for Star Wars canon, I throw like half of it out. Just wanted to put that out there real quick. And so now starting with weapons. The standard issue firearm for Stormtroopers is the E11 blaster rifle. I won't be using any other weapons that we've seen Stormtroopers use in the original trilogy or in the video games. I'm just sticking with the E11 because it's the main and most famous one. The E11 has a stun and a kill setting. A single power pack contains enough power for 500 shots, and a Stormtrooper typically carries at least one extra pack. This is where I deviate from the video games, especially the Battlefield video games, because they apparently they have unlimited animation. They don't have to reload, which I don't understand. I don't like it, but so I'm just taking what's from the movies and also the extra source material like visual guides, which I consider that better canon than the video games, which apparently are trying to make it fun, but I think more would be more fun. But that's not in the scope of this video. Also, I would like to state that the Stormtroopers are also equipped with a thermal detonator that an individual who does not know how to operate it cannot use. But since we never see it used in the movies, nor in video games for that matter, it will not count. It's just something that's in all the source material. But since it's not official, it's not seen officially in any canon material, it's only stated in canon material, it can't be, I'm not factoring it into this matchup. Redshirts are typically armed with 23rd century era Type 2 phasers. So these are essentially hand phasers similar to a blaster pistol in size. These phasers have multiple settings, but in short, they can stun, kill, and vaporize a target. The range of a phaser is unknown, but is at least equal to the E11 if not greater. And the E11 range, if I did not state earlier, is 300 meters. Despite the E11 being a dedicated combat weapon, the Redshirts will win this category due to the greater versatility offered by their Type 2 phasers. Next up is training. Redshirts are either Starfleet officers or Starfleet enlisted personnel. The training of enlisted redshirts, enlisted Starfleet personnel as well, is not known. But it is known that Starfleet officers attend Starfleet Academy. Starfleet Academy in universe is considered one of the most prestigious institutes of higher education and learning in the Federation, in the entire Alpha and Beta quadrants as well. Stormtroopers are trained at various Imperial academies of varying prestige within the Galactic Empire, but at all of them they are taught to be trained, efficient soldiers that are fiercely loyal to their empire and its emperor. This category has to go to the Stormtroopers, as they are trained in combat at institutions dedicated to teaching combat, to indoctrinating recruits into their empire, and teaching them how to fight for said empire. While Starfleet Academy is designed to teach defense, but mainly how to be a scientist and diplomat. As I emphasize, Stormtroopers are trained to fight, and that's why this category, this training advantage is given to the Stormtroopers. They just have superior combat training. Next up is armor. The uniform worn by redshirts and any Starfleet personnel for that matter is made of a material called Xenylon, Xenylon, which is an algae-based fabric. Keep that in mind, it's a fabric. Though supposedly that fabric has built-in temperature controls to accommodate for cold weather environments. But I would say it's limited based off of one episode where the Starfleet crew members are shown shivering. Stormtroopers, on the other hand, had plastoid armor that could dissipate blaster shots. How it reacts to phasers is unknown. The helmet provides cranial protection, filtered air, and enhanced vision, communication systems, and an effective heads-up display that helps locate threats and in navigation and other beneficial stuff for the Stormtrooper. Now, things we do see in the original series do contradict this, especially Luke's line that I can't see anything in this, but said, at least in Legends, I don't know if it's canon, but that Stormtrooper armor, if it's worn by someone who's not a Stormtrooper, you get tiny little holes to look out. You don't get anything else to look at. Whether that's current canon, I don't know, but I like to think that is somewhat accurate. But it is without a doubt that Stormtroopers have the superior armor, as they actually have armor. Redshirts just wear some basic uniforms. Fabric. Fabric is not armor in no way. So, Stormtroopers win in the armor category, no doubt. Before I go into the actual matchup, I would like to dispel with two fan-held conceptions for both universes. First is how Stormtroopers have terrible aim. This is not necessarily the case. It is said in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign that Stormtroopers hit their target 77% of the time. If that number seems high, it does sound pretty high. I would put them maybe closer to 50. But just remember that when Stormtroopers are fighting non-hero rebels, they are deadly. Take for example when they board the tentative foe, or tentative foe as I prefer. Second is that redshirts have the highest casualty rate in Star Trek. Not true at all. Sure, most redshirts do die on screen than blue shirts or yellow shirts, but they do actually have the highest survivability rate when you look at away teams. EC Henry actually made an excellent video on this. I suggest you go check it out for essentially to get a better understanding of it than I can provide. The links are in the cards right now-ish. Now that is out of the way, on to the 1 versus 1 match. Let's place this in some starship corridor. It could be the Enterprise, it could be an Imperial Star Destroyer, it could even be the Death Star. It's just starship corridor. Nice, straight, maybe side curve, but they can see each other is the important thing. The Stormtrooper and the Redshirt are at opposite ends. They draw their weapons and open fire, and the Redshirt falls before he can even get a shot off. The Stormtrooper was too quick and precise for the Redshirt. I would say that the Stormtrooper will win 8 times out of 10. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this assessment. And yes, the Redshirt does die quickly, but the Stormtrooper, as I said, is trained for combat. They're trained to react quickly to perceived threats, trained to raise their weapons and fire. Starfleet Redshirts, they're going to, sure, they may be a little more quick on the draw than a medical officer or a scientist, but they're still not going to be as trained in combat as a Stormtrooper. It's going to be more precise, though I would say the phasers stay more accurate in the long run. But onto the squad banter, and I do not see this going well for the Redshirts. The Stormtroopers are just too highly trained for combat. However, the Redshirts stand a better chance as a squad for one simple reason: Starfleet ingenuity, especially to the engineers. I would say that Redshirts will win as a squad 3.5 times out of 10. So that's an improvement, that much, but a little bit more, because, no, they have the better weapons and numbers I think will help them a lot. So thank you for joining me in today's matchups. And you Trekkies and Trekkers out there, wherever you prefer to be called, I will someday have a video out where Star Trek wins. That's just now how this matchup felt. But feel free to let me know of any future matchup suggestions in the comment section. And feel free to critique this matchup I presented to you. Feel free to follow me on social media, links are in the description. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Your donations there will help me to improve my channel, and you will get some special rewards for giving your support. So consider subscribing for future versus videos as well. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Have a good one.